So here's part one of modifying these shoes to make them into sort of the Nike Mag cinema style spec. So yeah, but you can see I've started to work on it. So I think what you have to have is a hairdryer or something like this. You want it on a setting around about here. You don't want it too hot, too low, or do nothing at all. So just before halfway, I would suggest. I'll start with this piece here. Now this, I've been aware, see that now since doing this pair here, that the material on this part here is very different from the material on my original pair, which is much more rubbery. This one here is much more, well, this is much less rubbery. It's made out of something else slightly. It's maybe rubber, more silicons, who knows, but it's a different type of, slightly different type of material. It looks the same, but it's different. So it's much more difficult to get off. And the fact they use super strong glue as well. So yeah, just to be aware that it's a bit more difficult this is than my first pair. So get your heat gun, start off in a corner. You need all this part here off up to about here roughly. So I just get some heat in there, swirl it around, leave it on there for about a minute. Then you gradually use tools like these iPhone tools here. This is the type you want. So you need to get in there delicately and carefully. And then turn the heat gun off. And then just start cutting away here. And then gradually get this in. Start lifting it, then apply some more heat in there. Then lift it. Once you've got enough off, then you start holding it back with your finger, applying some more heat and lifting it, doing it gently, using all that. You might also need to use this, which I had to as well, because certain parts were just weren't coming off. This particular material on this particular shoe, then kind of like you actually sort of pull it, and then obviously it goes hard and it forms that shape. So effectively, it forms this sort of shape here. It looks pretty bad. You think, shit, if I cocked this all up. Don't worry, you have it on this brand. Once it's all off, reapply the heat on here, backwards and forwards, and literally this part here then just goes soft, and then you can just push it down again and form it back into the correct position. So this is just sort of roughly in place. And I know that as well, as it goes quite soft, you can also stretch it a bit as well. So if you've got any sort of crap around the top here, and these little gaps here, you can stretch it, which is cool. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to put in a piece of thick, like metal, or sorry, piece of thin metal or some cardboard or something into there. Then I can slice round this neatly to get the shape back, and then I'm happy with that piece there. So yeah, that's all off now. So you need enough room to be able to get your half EL panels, so your half moon EL panels in there. And obviously normally I wouldn't cut away rubber like that, but there was no way of getting the panel in otherwise, you know. So yeah, we'll go for this anyway. But yeah, that'll be fine. And I've gone to about here. I might need to go a little bit more, but normally I can bend the wire back round and have the wiring come back in here. So yeah, it's just a case of sort of trial and error, but we'll see when we do the next few videos when these parts actually arrive. So next up is this part here. This part came off really easy. So I applied the heat, swirled it around here, used the tool, little lever, and pull it up. Came out fine. A bit more heat in there, pulled it up. The main thing is not to rush it. You don't want to yank this and deform it badly, or mainly rip it. If you rip that, yeah, you can glue it, but it's never going to look minter, is it? So that's off there. A bit more heat on there, and then the little rubber cover you can peel off as well. Comes off electronics, so that's all good. Electronics, let's see if they still work. Probably should do. Yeah, there we go. That's all good. This is actually this one has actually got like a tube, so I'm kind of thinking it's a tube with LEDs, you know, at the end. It's just the lights just going through the tube basically. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So yeah, so that's all good. Turn it off there. So that's fine. So that's cool. So that's a nice one. So you want to be able to get access, to be able to get the wiring in. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that in a minute, and then I'm pleased with that. Neaten it up. Cool. Next up, I'm going to look. Also, then I've looked at this piece here. So this piece that comes with it, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you can have this leave the shoe exactly as it is and just use them. Obviously, I want mine to cinema spec. I want my height better quality. You know, so there's nothing particularly wrong with this, but how it should look is a world difference. It should look like this, raised, much bigger, much more impressive, all that sort of stuff. So when I fit my new lighting in there, along with this, it will look the boy. So again, applied a load of heat to this. Got this nice and hot actually, because this is quite good. This is quite good sort of foam rubber. And then this then pulled out. Obviously, it's dried itself a little bit since I've started the video. But yeah, that's now in there. So then you can install that underneath. Cut it potentially a bit wider, but either way, that's going to look absolutely, when it's underneath there, that's going to look absolutely annihilates this one here. So yeah, I'm pleased with those. And as I can't use this panel here, so check the previous video I've done on these shoes, because this piece here is slightly different shape than this piece, and there's glue on there. So this bit here you see is actually a bit shorter there. So I could put this on, yeah, but then I'd see like glue marks here. So I don't really want that. And of course this piece here is a different colour as well from this, because made by different manufacturers. So that would all need repainting, respeckling, you know. So what I'll do is I'll basically have to cut these letters out individually and then put them on with high quality glue on there, so they're never ever going to move. So yeah, no drama on that. That will look really good. Pleased with that. Also, I'd rather put that whole thing on, but it'll look really good as it is. And then the next part is to do the strap. So I've got these Nike straps here. This is actually a faulty one, but I've got those. Talked to the manufacturer today. I can actually cut so I can cut an amount off the bottom of these ones here, not the top, because the top is like the earth wire, effectively. The bottom's like the positive kind of generalised gist of it. So I can cut off the bottom, I can cut the black bit off the top, and obviously off the sides, but I can't cut away the top section of gold. So I've got a bit of capacity there. Obviously these ones here are different from mine. These are stitched. The normal ones aren't stitched, so of course the stitching also loses me a bit of room. But once I cut a bit off that, you know, it's gonna be bloody fine. But I should be able to get that in there behind the strap. So yeah, that's the plan today. Get that in there as well. And obviously the wiring will come around here. On the other shoe, you have to basically bend the wiring back like that. You know, because the strap goes off that way on the other side shoe. Or you unstitch the strap and put the strap, this connection here, onto this side, you know, and then obviously, and then this part here, and then of course then binds on the other side, and then you have the wiring going sort of this way. So that's the kind of gist, yeah. But so I'll do one or the other, but as these are all nicely stitched, I'll probably end up just bending over like that, I reckon. For that, we'll see. Let's get this one here done first anyway. Cool. This is video 1, and we'll go on video 2 later on. Cheers. Yep, so the next part. So yeah, this is obviously the right hand side shoe. So I've taken it off, and you can see it looks a bit of a pig's ear, but hopefully fear not, once I've heated it and rubbed it back down again flat again and stretched ever so slightly, then she went in and trim around it. But you can see this one actually came off much nicer in the middle. So whilst it looks like a bit of a pig's ear, which it does, because this stuff here is just so soft, I just don't really think it's particularly, it was clearly not designed obviously to be peeled off. But I'm now going to heat this up again and tidy this up first, heat it up, get it flat, and then hopefully stretch it ever so slightly so it's a bit larger, then I can trim around it. I've trimmed around this one here. So you saw earlier on the earlier video, this one here was all sort of a bit rough and ready around the corner here. And if you can see on the focus, it's now clean. So all I did actually is I just inserted, what did I put in? I put in a piece of, so I put this here. So I literally just inserted it behind there like that, and then was able able to neaten up this with a really, really good quality sharp blade. And that looks completely fine. Yeah, a bit of paint off here, but otherwise this bit here looks spot on. So hopefully in a second, on the next part in a minute, this bit here won't look such a pig's ear. So again, this bit here came off super easy. This bit here did. That looks great. There it is there. So yeah, let's have a go at this bit here. And yeah, these are the tools you want. So you literally want things like this plastic iPhone tools. This sort of, pretty much this one here is the boy. It has like a little scraper, so you can sort of get in there and scrape it out nicely. You know, and if you try and do it whilst the heat's on, these things will actually bend as well. So heat the shoe up, then go for this and do it carefully. Cool. Alright, so you can see I'm heating it up. See it bending. Try that. I don't want to over crank it. And obviously I'm doing this one-handed, obviously. Yes, that's pretty hot actually, it is. I'm going to put the phone down here a second. try and see if I can get any film of it on. Obviously once it's cooled, I'm trying to, now actually this was a bit hot, so obviously when I was filming it one-handed I really should have been more in control of the heat. So this is actually potentially a little bit, well, it's probably okay, but it is actually hot, like properly fucking burning hot actually. That's cool though. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good actually. So I'm gonna hold it there, just to let it cool down and sort of shape into that formation. And then I can then, once it's then cooled down and basically rehardened, I can then neaten up the edges here. And then of course, now the glue's gone, this should then just peel up. So them should then just peel up gently back up again, so ready to insert the lights. But yeah, there's a little bit of damage just here, if you can see that. But obviously once there's glue in there and you use a bit of hot glue, that little dent there will be completely fine. I'll even keep a bit of this rubber here that I'm going to cut off here to potentially put in the hole just on top. So yeah, I've got a few little tiny little offcuts, you know, that I can put in these bits here. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea anyway, you know. Right, cool, let's pause that.